その名もメガフォース1巨大ロボ。
When we talk about One Piece, we know that everyone in the Straw Hat crew flexes hard. Well, almost everyone. However, villains have a very special place and dominate a good chunk of the story. Each villain has his or her own charm, and when they flex, oh boy, that's a sight to see. Let's check them out then, shall we?
本当だ。 あいつを。 そんな。お前はドフラミンゴ。
Doflamingo's conqueror's haki moment at Punk Hazard made us instantly fall in love with him. You see, Doflamingo always wants to be flashy. When he landed on Punk Hazard in the middle of a bunch of G5 Marines, he thought he'd eaten, which he did. After unleashing his conqueror's haki, Dofi left the Marines out cold. It was such a great flex. He basically said, "You're not even worth talking to," without opening his mouth. That's a different level of disrespect, right? Blackbeard is the kind of man who screams trouble. He flexed his devil fruit powers during his fight with Ace, and boy oh boy, it was terrifying. During their messy fight, Blackbeard destroyed an entire village. When you see his expressions, you can tell how much he's enjoying the destruction. This is exactly the reason why this man shouldn't have the power of any devil fruit, but the fact that he has two of the most powerful devil fruits is just terrifying. I wonder how big a threat this man will become in the future. But yeah, during his short fight with Ace, Blackbeard just made it clear that he's not the one to mess with. This Perona moment is honestly one of the most underrated little flexes in all of One Piece. Perona, the Ghost Princess, literally soloed a prison break with the power of depression, not friendship. It was a time when Kobe was locked up. Marines really did him dirty, and the guards guarding him, a bunch of useless men. Perona decides to use her negative hollow on them, which is one of the most busted support abilities in the whole show. Perona pulls up and makes you question your self-worth so hard you can't even lift a key. Even the ring key animation was fancy. Like, she depressed the guards so bad, they probably forgot why they were even there. Existential crisis mid-shift, GG. Seeing her again was pure serotonin. From Thriller Bark Chaos Queen to Zoro's unwilling housemate, she has come a long way. And this little prison rescue, a badass flex. Gujaku whipping a building to move it has to be one of the most unhinged flexes in One Piece. I swear, Oda never runs out of ideas for devil fruits. You know how One Piece always has that one character in a group who's just casually insane with their powers? Yeah, Gujaku said, why punch walls when I can whip a whole building and make it walk? Sure, Gujaku looks like an elegant and beautiful vice admiral, but the moment she takes out her whip, she turns into something we can only fantasize about. But when she whips a building to move it, we get back to our senses. The building actually moves. How ridiculous. I know some might be looking at that building like, damn, wish that were me. Gujaku's got that dommy mommy energy with a whip and a government badge, and suddenly half the fandom's rethinking their life choices.
他人への陳腐な思いがこの国を滅ぼすんだ。お前も同じだ、麦わらのルフィ。じゃあな、くだらねえ時間を過ごした。
Crocodile impaling Luffy is one of the most terrifying moments in the early One Piece days. So Luffy shows up in Alabasta all fired up and ready to throw hands with Crocodile, thinking it's just going to be another W for the Straw Hat Boy. But Crocodile? Nah, dude wasn't playing. First encounter, and this man straight up impales Luffy through the chest with his giant sand hook. Our bro got humbled too soon. It's low-key one of the first moments in the series where Oda really went, by the way, this ain't your typical happy-go-lucky adventure story. Sometimes we stab the protagonist and leave him to die in a sandpit. But also, it's iconic, right? Crocodile didn't just hurt Luffy physically, he bruised that man's ego.
逃げろ！陸王様、その先には火薬庫が！体が勝手に動くのだ。一体何を？Hideoだよ。
Doflamingo has graced us with his presence once again, and this time his flex is just diabolical. This man just wanted drama. He destroyed an entire kingdom using their king as a puppet and making him do questionable things. Poor King Riku didn't even know why he was doing all those terrible things. One second he's trying to protect his people, and the next he's being forced to slaughter them with his own hands. Blood everywhere, screams, chaos, and the sickest part, Doflamingo just wanted to break that nation from the inside out, and there was no better way than using its king to destroy it. The flex is that he played mind games and turned allies into enemies. This guy is just peak villain material.
空間が一隻見えるって！
おお、こちらキザル、応答願います。
Kizaru's entrance on Sabodi Archipelago is nothing short of legendary. Forget the normal route, this guy rides a cannonball and makes his legendary entrance. What's shocking is how chill this guy is while doing something so dangerous. Even though this man could have relied on his devil fruit powers to arrive at his destination, he still decided to ride a cannonball. I'm not gonna lie though, it was pretty badass. And let's not forget his sheer power. He kicks ass like it's no big deal, and that's the exact moment when fans fully grasp just how terrifyingly strong a Marine Admiral really is.
ブラックホール！なんだ！そしてあの構え！グラグラの実の能力！見たかおめえら！この世界の未来は決まった！ここから先は俺の時代だ！
Blackbeard stealing Whitebeard's power was one of the most insane game-changing moments. You see, killing Whitebeard wasn't enough. Rest in power, old man. Blackbeard wanted his power and title as an emperor, and he used both the Navy and Ace to do so. The Marines were so focused on destroying Roger's legacy, they allowed the creation of a monster. Not once did they stop and think what would happen if they let Blackbeard run rampant. They brought this hell upon themselves. So when Whitebeard is at his weakest and seemingly on the verge of death, Blackbeard takes the opportunity to literally take his powers. He steals the Gura Gura no Mi right from Whitebeard's body, and he did that while being under a curtain. I mean, it did feel like this man did some questionable things under those curtains. Anyway, this moment completely shakes the foundation of the One Piece world. And you know what? With the power of 2 devil fruits and an army of people willing to follow him, he's pretty much on track to do just that.
ライミー
Have you ever shown up to a fight thinking you're that guy, only to realize you're actually just the guy? Yeah, that was Luffy when he rolled up on Kaido in Wano. My man came in hot, Gear 4, Haki blazing, confidence at 110%. He hit Kaido with the "I'm gonna be the Pirate King" energy, and for a split second, we actually believed that. And then Kaido didn't even flinch. One swing, and that's all it took. Bonk. Luffy dropped so hard, you could practically hear. It was like Luffy came across the final boss too soon in the game. It was such a humbling experience for Luffy, and Kaido wasn't even trying. And if that's not a badass flex, then I don't know what is.
立て、ロー。口を慎め。
When Law pulled up at Punk Hazard, he was all confident, until Virgo walked in. You see, Virgo is the only one who looks intimidating with a stake stuck on his face. And when he decided to teach Law a lesson, it was downright disrespectful. Virgo took hold of Law's heart, and that's what gave him the upper hand. The way he hit Law with a bamboo stick on his head was absolutely disrespectful. Sure, Law gets his moment later, but he'll never forget what Virgo did to him in those few moments. Even though Virgo is an anime character who wears glasses, you can tell what kind of food he likes to eat just by looking at his face.
着いたぞ、ワノ国。麦わらを殺しに行くぞ。まさか。
Let's move on to that iconic moment when King casually kicks Big Mom's ship like it was a toy. Bro took mess around and find out to a whole new level. It felt like King was playing Super Smash Bros because that down spike, oof, I've never seen a guy kick a ship with so much style. King literally showed them why he's called King. I absolutely love Big Mom's reaction to that kick. It was priceless. Honestly, this moment was peak One Piece energy. King didn't just kick a ship, he sent a message loud and clear. Mess with us and we'll kick your entire empire to the curb. Literally.
クロコダイル？黙れ愚民ども。
素敵。
この国で暴れてくれるな。
英雄気取りで何のつもりだ。
格が違うんだ、豚野郎。
Crocodile's introduction has to be one of the most iconic moments in One Piece. Right from the moment when you see him, you know he's him. He's the most uncaring, menacing, and sinister guy you'll ever come across. Back then, he did seem like he was the final boss, so when a bunch of low-level pirates decide to challenge him, he simply turns them into statues of sand. So in short, Crocodile's intro is peak One Piece villain material. He's everything you want in a bad guy. Cold, calculating, and super powerful.
麦わらのルフィと誰とでも組むさ。恩人をこの島から逃がせんなる。足柄のか。
わしのガードも負けちゃいない。
Kizaru versus Sentomaru was the classic student versus mentor fight in One Piece. The fight is hilarious in the most One Piece way possible because it's not some good v evil clash. It's literally a confusing moment between two dudes who kind of know each other but also kind of don't mess around when it's time to fight. So Kizaru just effortlessly light speed zips into Egghead Island. Sentomaru, meanwhile, is in defensive mode. Then, boom, it all starts. Sentomaru actually lands a hit. That man punches the literal speed of light. And it's not a bad hit either, you know. It's impressive how Sentomaru was actually able to land a hit on someone like Kizaru. But the funniest part, neither of them ever looks particularly mad. It's like they're both thinking, man, I really hate that we have to do this.
それに先んじること20年金城鉄壁を誇るインペルダウンを破り脱獄を成し遂げていた男がいた
まさか自分の足を切り落としたというのか
その伝説の男の名は空飛ぶ海賊団船長金獅子の指揮
Shiki's escape from Impel Down, it was a full-on mic drop from history. Impel Down, the most secure underwater prison in the world. This place is a nightmare buffet. Poisonous guards, sea kings swimming outside, prisoners going insane, the whole nobody ever escapes vibe. And in the middle of all this is Shiki the Golden Lion, former rival to Roger, absolute menace, and certified madman. Dude literally cut his own leg in order to escape from Impel Down. Like, what could be more badass than that? He straight up cuts off his own legs to escape. Like, chains on his ankles? No problem. Remove the ankles. It's not even drastic at this point. It's just Shiki doing what Shiki does best, being unreasonably hardcore. Yes, sword legs. Because after escaping, Shiki doesn't slap on wooden peg legs or crutches. Nah, he replaces both legs with katanas. Absolute menace. Absolute legend, certified lunatic. Shiki, the Golden Lion.
あれは鷹の目
いつまで寝ているミスターワン
牢屋暮らしで体がなまっちまったようで
てめえは邪魔だ麦わら
なぜ俺の邪魔をする
俺は今虫の居所が悪いんだ気ぃつけな鷹の目
Ooh, things are getting spicy now. I hope you're enjoying it because we have Crocodile straight up flexing on Mihawk. Dude literally saved Luffy from dying at the hands of Mihawk by stopping his attack. Yeah, I know. He acts like he doesn't care, but he just can't stop himself when he sees Luffy in trouble. This dude has beef with everyone, but still ends up being the clutch MVP more often than not. Let's also not forget that this is the same man Luffy beat in Alabasta. Not only once, but twice. And now he's trying to play Luffy's dad. Just pure chaotic Crocodile vibes. We got enemies saving allies, grudges being paused mid-battle, and a war so wild even ex-warlords can't stay mad for long. Marineford, different breeds, and Crocodile, an absolute badass.
海軍第77支部新顔だないきなり撃ってきやがった
砲弾を噛み砕いた
Arlong is a creepy man, and the way he breaks that cannonball with his razor-sharp teeth is even creepier. This man's chilling when he sees a cannonball coming his way. I mean, if Arlong were a normal person, he would dodge it. But since he's not a normal person, he decides to just crush it between his teeth. Can you believe that? The audacity of it. This man, a fish man with shark teeth, wasn't worried about some silly little cannonball. No, he's too busy being a stone-cold menace to even flinch. It was one of those holy crap moments where you knew this guy was something else.
滝とクラーメ
Blackbeard has a knack for turning others' worlds upside down, and this time he did that to Law. I know, poor Law. With the terrifying abilities of Yami Yami no Mi, Law seemed to be in a bit of a pinch. Law's powers literally shut down in front of Blackbeard. Also, Gura Gura no Mi's power gives Blackbeard an edge over almost everyone. Blackbeard's Quake Shockwave destroys the entire battlefield while also shaking Law. Law's crew doesn't even stand a chance against Blackbeard. This man is a real threat and he can't be ignored no matter what. Enjoying this video? Please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.
せやおめんが混ぜらんかヒドラお前たちがここへ来た理由をなんだこりゃ毒かちくしょうあんの野郎ここから出さんぞ
Moving on, we have Magellan, who absolutely obliterated Blackbeard's crew when they came across him. This moment was so humbling for Blackbeard and his crew. Magellan basically smacked them down and they didn't even get the chance to see what hit them. Magellan was in no mood to play around. He had no hesitation about what he was about to do. But yeah, Blackbeard's career could have ended right there if Magellan was a little bit more serious. It was so satisfying to watch Blackbeard get destroyed in seconds. I mean, look at this. Magellan casually obliterated some of the strongest people in the world with a single move. You gotta give credit where it's due.
頭の中はわからねえ。ローも麦わらも全員皆殺しだ。
あらら、ちょっとごめんな。そいつさ、俺の友達なんだよ。
Moving on, we have the moment when Aokiji made a popsicle out of Doflamingo. Doflamingo is all ready to kill Smoker in this scene, but not so fast. Aokiji appears and freezes everything around him. Doflamingo's confidence shattered right there and then. Aokiji's got that vibe, like he could fold you with zero effort and still look bored doing it. It's no wonder Doflamingo, who usually controls the battlefield, feels like he's out of his depth here. We can almost see Doflamingo's panic. After Aokiji freezes him mid-sentence, Doflamingo struggles, but it's clear that he can't keep up with the power on display. Aokiji is just a quiet threat.
容赦ないの
Rob Lucci graces us with one of the most badass displays of power in the recent episodes of One Piece. And who's Lucci's poor victim this time? It's Atlas. We get to hear the iconic drum roll because, hey, we knew something big was coming, right? And there we go. Lucci's standing there, ready to unleash his ultimate move. I mean, many people call Lucci a final boss here, but hey, Atlas was never a real threat to begin with. We can't ignore the fact that this man literally didn't need to unleash his Six King pistol, but he just couldn't hold back. Bro did it dirty. He really didn't have to do this, but yeah, it's always fun to show off like this. No matter how over the top and flashy it was, it screamed Lucci and we loved it.
中にビッグマムはもういるか？ん？前回も招待状が来たんだよ。
母の葬式だったからだ。ビッグマムから届いたものは何だったと思う？入院中だった父の。お前は小生片栗
we have to talk about Katakuri killing a man with a jelly bean. It might sound funny right now, but trust me, it's just insane. So, some idiot named Jigara enters the Whole Cake Island without knowing about the kind of danger he's landed himself in. At that point, we're all holding our hearts, thinking there might be a fight, but when there's Katakuri, the fight ends before it even starts. This dude killed Jigara with a jelly bean. Yes, a jelly bean. Like, the poor man didn't even get to finish his monologue. Man got bean snipped by Katakuri, who wasn't even in the room. He was posted up elsewhere, meditating like a monk, and sensed the threat with observation haki. Dude looked into the future and saw that nonsense coming. He's got the "I know what you're about to do before you do it" drip. He flicks jelly beans with sniper precision and still has the audacity to look this clean while doing it.
通信部何も傍受していないルルシア王国そんな国はもともとないではないか。
Do you remember the time when the biggest threat Luffy and his crew faced was Crocodile, that man who had the ability to control sand? Yeah, those were the good old days. But you know, good days don't last long. Currently, the threat has grown to be even bigger. Now we have this mysterious being who just wipes out an entire kingdom off the map. It felt like the kingdom never existed in the first place. This man dropped a cosmic level of attack on the kingdom of Lulusia and destroyed it completely, just out of the map. This was just a fraction of the power they're hiding. A fraction caused a giant hole in the earth that's not filled with water and raised global sea levels. Talk about chaos.
黙っていれば何もしないいいな
NL had been a pretty terrifying villain in the One Piece universe. He's the kind of guy who just screams bad news. Now, if we talk about the time when the concept of Haki didn't exist, NL was a pretty formidable opponent. In this specific scene, NL just landed on the Going Merry and zapped both Sanji and Zoro. Like, you didn't even have to try. Those were the early days of One Piece when the villains used to be just pure badass and didn't need much effort to cement themselves as badass characters. This was the classic early One Piece moment where Oda reminds you, yeah, your favorites are cool, but this guy is built differently.
死に場所を探していた。彼について話すならば、7度の敗北を喫し、拷問に次ぐ拷問を受け、罪人として彼は今自殺をしたのだ。
くそ頭痛い。
Alright, so Kaido, the guy who's literally called the strongest creature in the world, decides to give the whole I'm invincible thing a real test. How? Well, by trying to kill himself. Yep, you heard that right. That man goes up to the Sky Island, looks below and thinks, you know what would be a cool flex? Just jumping off and seeing if I survive. Now, Kaido's not the kind of guy who's thinking about just dying. No. He's thinking, let's see if I can actually die. And guess what? The guy jumps off the island, straight onto the island, ready to embrace his fate. But instead of, well, dying like everyone else would, Kaido just gets back up. This dude is so hard to kill, even death gets tired of trying to end him.
死ねねえもんだな。うまくやったよ。
死に場所を求める男の名は百獣のカイドウ。
腐ってる！
And with that, we're wrapping up this list of moments when One Piece villains flex too hard. Let us know if you think any moment should have made it to this list. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe so we can show you more of the best moments around. See you next time.